Bonjour, comment ça va? Here are five faith-based films that I watched, and here's my real basic thoughts of it, and whether I recommend it to you or not. First up, we have Someone Like You, which is about this man who was best friends with this woman since they were children, and then one day she kind of passes away. By the way, he really, really liked this woman for the longest time as well, but there's always that boundary between them. So she passes away, and then he goes to her parents and he finds out that she actually has a sister that she never knew about because her parents got her from this vitro in vitro fertilization thing, which is something that I only newly got to know or found out about. I never knew about this at all until I watched this movie. But basically, he finds out that she has this other sister that she never knew anything about her, and she never knew, they both never knew anything about each other, basically. He travels all the way to where she is, tells her about this, and her in her curiosity wants to get to know her parents and the sister that she never really got to grow up with because the sister passed away. And I like the fact that this has a very unique plot. For faith-based films, you don't get a lot of faith-based films about that have the childhood lovers trope. That's really, really rare. And I like the quality as well. I like the fact that this is a unique plot. I like the fact that it's also based on a book. Kudos to the author to be able to transform this book into a movie. This is something that I would love to do as well. So I was like, this is really impressive. I will have a lot to learn from her. And I really, really liked that. Cinematography was also good. It reminded me of autumn slash fall, with the changing leaves, the lake, the water. I feel like this would be such a good comfort. Okay, I don't know if it would be a comfort movie, but it would be such a good movie to watch in autumn. I really liked as well some of the music. I like the relationship between the parents and the sister that they didn't really get to connect with. I liked seeing that develop. There's so many beautiful, beautiful moments that happen in the movie, like really beautiful moments where I was like, oh, this is so cute. Now, for aspects that I didn't really enjoy, I I wasn't, I like the fact that we started with the main guy's POV, he's expressing how he has his best friend that he kind of always liked and always wanted to be with her. But I felt like we lost that POV throughout the movie. Like the movie didn't really feel like we were following his journey anymore. I kind of feel like we're kind of distant from him. I wish we could have gotten more of his grief, more of his pain, more of what he was thinking and feeling throughout the whole movie. I feel like we kind of strayed away from that. And yes, lots of other plot points happen which could explain why we strayed away from that. But I kind of wish we could have seen things more from his lens from time to time. It felt like it shifted from him to this other sister that you didn't know about. I don't know if in the book it's like that, where it shifts POVs, but it kind of felt like we never returned to his POV either. Like we never really got to see his POV again. Like it started so strong with him narrating the beginning, and then at some point we just fully focused on the sister, and I was just like, oh, what happened to him? I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't fully enjoy the relationship as well. It didn't really feel like he got over his grief. Like it felt like he liked this girl for the longest time. She passes away. That breaks his heart, and he's going through grief. And then he finds out that she has a sister that looks exactly like her. And I feel like naturally you would kind of start liking the person. And I know the movie does address it. Like it does address how he probably did like her at the beginning because she reminded him so much of his best friend. But then eventually, he did fall for who she truly is. But I wasn't fully convinced because we didn't really get to see his character that much. It felt like we could have gotten way, way, way deeper into his character. We could have seen the way he's seen things a lot more deeper. We could have seen his POV on things. Also, wasn't really convinced on the love story as well. It felt a little bit rushed. There was also some choices that our main character made that I really did not like, as well as some choices the sister made that I was really did not like. If you want to hear my more in-depth review, then you can actually watch my reaction to the movie and hear my full review after watching the movie, which I think would really help you a lot if you want to understand exactly what I'm talking about. But overall, if you want to watch this movie, I recommend it to you. Just a warning to about grief. But overall, I'll give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Next, I watched Soul Surfer. I only heard about this movie from a friend of mine, and I did see it on Pinterest a couple of times. This movie follows Bethany Hamilton. It's based on a true story, which is so crazy. But it follows this woman that got a shark attack, and how she's still pursuing her dreams of being a surfer. That's just a basic premise of the story. I liked the story so much. It instantly felt so good because it reminded me of a vacation. I think it's something good to watch in the summer if you're going out, or even if you also just want an inspirational, feel good family film. I would recommend it for that. One thing that I really did like about this was the cinematography as well. It was set, I believe it was set in Hawaii. It felt like it was set in Hawaii. Instantly made me want to have a vacation. Honestly, seeing the tragedy and following Bethany's story, how she kept on wanting to go in the water even though she came from that shark attack, seeing her perseverance, seeing how much she loved the ocean, how much she knew that God called her to do this thing, seeing her struggles as well, seeing some of the fears and insecurities she went through. Honestly, that was absolutely beautiful. I love that aspect of the film. The storytelling was amazing. The lessons were beautiful. I loved the relationship between her siblings and her parents as well. Her parents were so supportive of her dream. And I was like, wow, this is such a beautiful display of family support. And this is such a beautiful display of how you can encourage someone else. And just seeing her determination was so inspiring. The shock attack did surprise me. It shocked me completely. If you want to see my reaction, you can just see um action. Another thing that I really liked how they kind of wove the faith-based themes into the story really, really nicely. It was subtle and you can but it was so beautiful the way they also did it, which I really, really, really like. And I would recommend this movie to anyone who wants something inspirational, light, beautiful, inspiring to watch. One aspect that I felt like was really, really good about this movie is that it really taught me a lot about gratitude. After I watched this movie, it encouraged me to be like, okay, I have no excuses. I need to be grateful and I need to work hard. And I gave this movie 8.5 out of 10. Next, I'll be talking about is Reading in Love. Now, I read the book, which you can watch my reading vlog and find the thoughts of the book here. But I loved the book so, so much. And I was so excited to see the movie, but I also was skeptical to see the movie because I believe years back I heard some bad reviews of it, but I couldn't remember what the bad reviews were. But I wanted to see the movie for myself and compare the book and movie to each other. So basically, Reading in Love is about this woman who grew up in abuse, prostitution, a lot of things, basically had a really rough life. And God commands this man to marry her. And the rest you'll get to see. Also know that it's based on the book of Hosea. I read the book of Isaiah, or I read some chapters from the book of Isaiah before I read the book. And I know that it is based from that story. I thought that the story was really, really beautiful. The one thing I did like about the movie was the cinematography. I think the quality was pretty good. I think the casting was also pretty good as well. I liked Michael Zaya's character. There was this nice scene with him at the church that I was like, this is so good. I also liked the woman who played Angel's character. I feel like some parts she did her facial expressions pretty good. But in the book, there would be moments you could the way they would describe how she would make a face or how she had this attitude, and I feel like she kind of displayed that pretty well as well. I did also like the way they did the set design and the outfits as well. It felt very historical fiction, which is something that I was really, really looking forward to. And for the aspects that I didn't fully like was the swing. That caught me off guard. It wasn't a lot of it. It only happened like once in the movie, I believe. Only happened once with one character. That just caught me off guard. Another thing that caught me off guard was the nudity scenes. I was kind of aware they were going to have some sort of nudity in a way because the book kind of alludes to it, I believe. I don't fully remember anymore. And I didn't expect it to be so much. There were certain scenes where I was just like, Faith-wise, I did like the fact that they kept Michael's character and his dependence on God. I like the fact that it kind of alluded to how he heard God's voice. I like the fact that he read his Bible. I like the fact that, they encourage prayer and things like that. So some of the faith-based themes were there, but I did wish there were more, especially reading the book. Like when you read the book and when you watch the movie, you will notice the faith-based elements that are kind of missing. Like if I just have to see the movie for itself, it was there. There were aspects where they didn't mention God, a lot of scenes. But when you read the book, you're like, okay, but I would have liked this and I would have liked that. I honestly do think that the movie would have been better as a short series. The story is so deep and impactful and long. It takes you through a journey, and I feel like it was hard for them to condense that journey within like a 2 hour movie, which that's just how most movies are. But I honestly do think that if they approached a more mini series like approach for the movie, it would have been way better, because there were so many things that they cut out or rushed through, or so many parts that I really was looking forward to. Being someone who read the book, I was looking forward to a lot of scenes that just weren't there. There's so many characters that took out. There's so many events that took out that I see as almost equally important to the overall story, or so many parts that really kind of just breezed through, where I feel like it didn't add enough emotional weight and make you feel or make you go through that journey like the way the book did. The book made you really feel like you're going through a journey, and I was longing to feel that in the movie. I think that in order to make it feel as deep and beautiful and as faith based and as powerful as the book is, I think that you would really need to add in those extra informations that adds to Angel's character. So my overall rating for this movie would be a 6.5 out of 10. Next is I watched The Forge, and The Forge is about this high schooler graduate. Yeah, he graduated high school and he's kind of lacking in life, spending time playing video games, not really doing much of his life. And then at some point, he meets this guy who ends up mentoring him, and his mother keeps on praying for him, and he eventually starts changing into this new man who has faith and discipline and wisdom and all that beautiful stuff. I did not know what to expect watching this movie. I didn't have much context. I went into this movie blind with my sister, which I enjoyed watching this movie with her, and I liked the fact that I did because I was pleasantly surprised. The quality was amazing. I liked that we followed Isaiah's character to the end. That was something so beautiful. I liked the fact that we got to see his character development. We also got a little cameo from Wogum, which was really fun. I did not expect the cameo from Wogum at all. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be in the same universe at all, but the cameo was there and it was absolutely amazing. I also liked the fact that we got to see Isaiah's struggles. There were some things that he was keeping in. There was unforgiveness there's bitterness, there's pain. There was also something, there's like the movie did take an interesting twist where something does happen, that a problem from the beginning of the movie does get brought up. I liked that little twist in the plot. Something happens in the third act that I was like, this is getting exciting. I was really pumped. I really enjoyed this, and I was so excited. I was fully engaged. I cried during this movie because I feel like the way they wrote Isaiah's character and also just his performance as well was absolutely amazing. Our main guy's performance was honestly touching. This movie, I didn't expect it to have so many emotional moments. If I'm fully honest, I liked it way more than Woo. Which, yeah, maybe I'm just not the target audience for Wargame as well. I'm clearly unmarried, but I loved The Forge, and I really recommend the movie. And I will give it a 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Also, there was a nice plot twist that happens in The Forge, which I really did not expect. I didn't expect it to have a plot twist. I didn't expect it to feel more action packed in a way. Okay, not action packed is misleading. I didn't expect it to have that thing that happens, in the plot. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed it so much. I think that it's also a nice movie for just any young person to watch, and yeah, I really recommend it. Next is I watched War Room, and I heard about War Room for the longest time just because of the prayer closet thing. So me and my sister were so excited to watch this movie together. So War Room is about this woman and this guy, right, who are quite successful, they're good at their jobs, everything's going well, but they're having marriage problems, they're fighting, etc. And then eventually this woman meets this other older woman who kind of teaches her about how to war in prayer, not fight against her husband, but to fight against, the rulers, the principalities, and that's how the prayer closet thing gets incorporated into the story. The one thing that I really did like about War Room was Claire's character, which is the older lady. I felt felt like she was really wise. I also liked her sense of humor. I didn't expect the movie to be funny at all. So the fact that it had jokes and I genuinely laughed at some things and I just fell in love with Claire's character was absolutely amazing. Like that was such a good, pleasant surprise. So I was like, yeah, this is actually really good. I liked her character so much. I wish that I had an older woman like Claire in my life that I could just have tea with and listen to her thoughts and opinions. I like the fact that he did encourage me to pray a lot too. Even by the end of the movie, I felt like, whew, I need to have a war room. So I believe the message was really strong and really beautiful. Now, some things I didn't really like about the movie was that I did feel like we could have gotten more character depth as well in Claire and her husband's relationship and just also in their characters. I feel like I was kind of confused why they were having so many problems. Like I wish we could have gotten a backstory or gotten more context. Like I feel like they did kind of explain why they were fighting, but I wish that we dove deeper into that, as well as I don't really like almost cheating scenes in movies, and it had something like that as well. I didn't really like the husband's character, and yes, he does eventually change in the story. I ended up liking the husband, right? He does certain things at the end where I was like, wow, this is so sweet, this is so beautiful. But at the beginning of the movie, it felt like they made him so dislikable. But I wish that we could have gotten more depth in the way he thinks, the way he behaves, his insecurities. I wish we could have also gotten more on the main girl's characters, the way she thinks, the way she behaves, her insecurities. I feel like we didn't get too much character depth. It felt like we got a lot of plot, a lot of, you need to pray, you need to rebuke this. I did feel like at the end of the movie that the same problems they had could repeat if they don't deal with like the communication problems. But I couldn't even tell if they were fighting because of communication problems or not, because we didn't really deal or go deep into that. So there was something that was like, okay, we could have gotten more of that, which we didn't fully get, and that's completely okay. But overall, the movie was still really, really beautiful, and I would still recommend it to anyone. It will really encourage you to pray. It will really encourage you to fight back and, start writing sticky notes of prayer requests and Bible verses, and it's gonna really empower you a lot. I did like the fact that we got to see how the prayer changed her heart and her husband's heart. I did think that was really, really beautiful, but I did wish we had more character there. So I would rate this movie a 7 out of 10. Alright, I definitely think that's it. Watch my reaction videos of me actually watching all of these videos. Other than that, au revoir, à bientôt.